Good evening. There is no law that prohibits the use of headscarves in educational institutions, is what students who were barred from using the hijab contended in the Karnataka High Court through their lawyer today. The senior advocate Devadatt Kamat said that the hijab is protected under the religious freedoms granted by the Constitution and that no college development body is equipped to take a call on whether it can be banned in view of a public order violation. He went on to argue that the only grounds in which there could be a restriction was if there was a violation of public order, but he insisted that those institutions or bodies which decided on dress codes were not empowered to take that call. Now, these court hearings do continue for the moment. In fact, tomorrow 2:30 p.m. the Karnataka High Court will be hearing this again. Let me go straight across to my colleague Srija, who's been tracking those developments. What were some of the main arguments which were raised in court today? And it was just the petitioner who was argued on behalf of the students he was representing, right?
Yes, that's right. In fact, what we did see in the Karnataka High Court today was the petitioner, in fact, representing the Udupi girls, senior advocate also, and the defense counsel, Mr. Kamat. He did put forth some of the strong arguments, some of the strong submissions before the court today. He did speak about how the Karnataka government order, which is dated February 5th, which did speak about where students will not be allowed to wear a hijab, and that they will have to follow the uniform dress code. Now, this was the order which was passed by the Karnataka government, and this government order was spoken about in the court while the submissions were being made by the petitioners. And Mr. Kamat did, of course, mention saying that it was non-application of the mind of the Karnataka government to actually pass such an order, because soon after this order came in place, we could also see how protests had intensified. We saw how the trigger happened within the students. There was a political overtones to it, communal overtones to it within the educational institutions. Now, that was one of the major triggers as far as the Karnataka government's order is concerned, where on one hand you had a bunch of students who were demanding that they be let inside to attend the classes wearing the hijab. On the other hand, we also had saffron students. So this was the confrontation that, as far as the Karnataka government's order, which also led. Now, more importantly, that we cannot, of course, ignore where Mr. Kamat did, of course, make the submission was he did point to the fact that Kendriya Vidyalaya schools, remember, it's run by the central government. Now, they have prescribed the uniform code as far as girls are concerned. It talks about kurtis, it talks about shirts and also skirts, wearing of skirts. But other than this, it also speaks about wearing of headscarves for Muslim girls, which should match with their bottom wear, whether it is the skirt or trouser. So this was the major important submission which was being made before the court, and the court has adjourned for today and will resume the hearing on the batch of petitions tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. So NDTV, of course, spoke to a few students here from this very college, which is the Udupi Girls College, and we tried speaking to her, asking her. Remember, it is today days where the closure of schools were ordered by the government, and today it reopened. We spoke to a few girls, and one of the girls did, of course, tell us that earlier the educational institution were allowing, but however, these girls were supposed to remove the burqa or the hijab and then attend classes. Listen in.
Which class are you in?
9th standard.
9th standard. And in the last 2-3 days, have you been coming to school?
No.
No, it was leave.
Yeah.
Okay. Has the principal instructed you not to wear hijab and come to school, college? Instructions ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. So did they ask you to, do you remove hijab in the class when it is?
Yes.
You remove. Is that a practice by you?
Yeah.
It has been a practice.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a few classmates of yours, did they wear hijab in the class?
Yeah.
Did they wear? ಅವರು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಾ?
ಅವರು ಮೊದಲು ಹಾಕ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
Okay.
4 days ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಮೊದಲು. ಮತ್ತೆ 3 ದಿನದಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅವರು ಹಾಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ.
ಅದು ಕಾರಣ ಏನಾದರೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ನಿಮಗೆ?
ಇಲ್ಲ.
You don't know. Okay. And in your class, how many students used to wear hijabs and attend the classes? ಎಷ್ಟು students?
ನಾವಿಬ್ಬರೇ ಇರೋದು ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಅಂದರೆ
Only
ನಮ್ಮ
two
ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ.
So both of y'all used to remove the hijab and sit?
ಯಾ
Y'all didn't have a problem.
No.
Any idea why others started suddenly? Friends?
ಅವರು ಇವರು ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು 3 ದಿನದ ಮುಂಚೆ.
Thank you, Raida. Well, there is a student here who's telling in this particular school, which is the Udupi Girls School, telling us that for a very long time they have been practicing of just entering the school premises, college premises, wearing the hijab or a burqa for that matter. But once when the classes begin, she used to take off the hijab. But also indicating the factor, it was only a sudden decision by these bunch of girls who wore the burqa and who also insisted that they will have to be allowed to wear a burqa or a hijab and attend classes. In Udupi, with camera person Govind, Shrija for NDTV.